trying to get more camera time, Scott.
Yes.
Just trying to get
It's not dripping. We're good. Are you okay, Bob? Remember the last time it dripped all over you?
Yeah,
I never forget anything if you're involved in it. That's right.
how'd the first week of practice go?
It went, I guess, about as good as I could expect it. We got a lot of new players. The first week is always kind of, the young guys are feeling their way through the, for the first few days, just trying to figure out what we expect. And but I thought it went real well. I think that, there's 6 position players, or 6 spots in the field that we're trying to replace, and so this is a big fall for us. I think the players did a pretty good job. I feel like the coaches were just really bearing down on trying to figure how to handle this and make sure we can get the right players in the right spots, because there's some guys that are athletically they play 2 or 3 positions. We're just figure out who can handle it and then go from there. But I'd say that the first week went about as well as it could have gone.
How do you approach these 2 scrimmages since they're real Division I opponents?
Yeah, the outside competition, I think it really, the way we lined it up, I just feel like that it breaks up fall ball. Sometimes it gets a little bit monotonous scrimmaging against yourselves, and it also gives the coaches an opportunity to throw a team out there that possibly is more of a starting lineup, and you only play 1 team instead of 2. Obviously, you're not playing 18, 19, 20 guys like you do in a scrimmage. You're playing 9, and to open some eyes. But I think we practice 2 weeks, play a game against OU. We practice 2 more weeks, we play a game against Wichita State, and then we'll finish up the season. A couple weeks later, we'll be completely done 2 weeks later, and somewhere in there we'll have a Cardinal and White series and move on to the off season. So I just think it's a good mix. But the way I'm going to handle it is just, we'll go out there and we're going to probably play 14, 15 innings, and probably the first 9 innings you do all you can, try to win the game. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to try to win, but that's not the main thing we want to do. We want to make sure that we get guys in the right situation, see how they can handle a little bit, and then the second game against Wichita State, probably the same type setup, maybe 14 or 15 innings, and try to throw our older guys or our more experienced guys, or maybe the better guys. We'll see by then, the first few innings.
So
Yeah, we're going to go early, just to try to give it more of a road trip flavor, just to get the feel for it, especially the new guys. And they have a football game on Saturday, so we had to be creative. We did find a hotel. Maybe bunking up more in a room than we normally do, but that's just the way it goes. And we'll go over there because we play at 12:30 on that Saturday, and they have a game that night. I think it's 7. So we need to get that thing over with probably by 5 o'clock or 5:30 at the latest, and we'll take a shower and get out of there and come back. And obviously their guys will just hang out. But yeah, that'll be. We're gonna try to make it like a real situation, get a little feel for it.
So you do a score after 9 innings and just play an extra 5?
Well, really it's considered practice, so we'll run the scoreboard when we're here. They'll run the scoreboard when we're there. But I would think that after 8 or 9 innings or 10 innings, that both coaches will make some changes. Probably make a few in there as far as pitching, obviously. In the first 9 innings, we could throw as many as 4 or 5 guys, and then, those last 5 innings, we may throw 5 guys 1 inning just to get them some experience to pitching on the road or to somebody else. So we won't. I imagine we'll just keep scoring the whole game.
How's it worked out with Kerstad in right field, or how much has he been out there?
Yeah, so far so good. I talked to him in the summer that I'd kind of like him to go over there and just stay over there all fall. And it's been good. He's playing there today. We're scrimmaging today. We'll scrimmage tomorrow morning. Just to get used to it. But he played center field in high school. We moved him to left, obviously, last year, and we just feel like left field this year could be a little bit of a spot where we put somebody who's swinging the bat well, or maybe a good matchup, right-handed hitter against left-handed pitcher, and just let Fletcher and Kerstad settle in at their spots and leave left field open for a little more competition, especially this fall.
got a lot of new guys, but you got a good core of a couple of guys there, the position players, and then a good core of pitchers as well.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned a couple of them, obviously Fletcher and Kerstad, and then, you know, Martin in the infield, and then Jack Henley's been doing really well this fall. He'll be a starter for us in the spring, and you know, they both playing short this fall. They both have done a great job, you know, and both of them have played third base. So we'll figure that out as time goes on, but they're both going to be in the lineup, especially if we started tomorrow. And then McFarland's really improved from last year. I see a guy that had a frustrating year, had a couple good weeks for us in the middle, and then really didn't do much, and went out and played summer ball and hit 320 with a wood bat in California. His team won the championship, and I think he might have been MVP of that tournament, that little series at the end, and he's swinging the bat really well. Junior year, it's time, and we need someone like him to step it up.
The Wichita State game will be a Saturday?
No, it's Friday. Friday at 6 p.m. as far as I know. I didn't see the release. I think that's when we schedule it. So we'll probably play till about 10, right around. I think Todd and I, Coach Butler, the number we've thrown out is 14. And I think they're going to head back that night. So, you know, we'll probably be done around 10, is what I'm guessing.
You said second base.
Second base is a little bit open right now, too. You know, we have a transfer, Trevor Ezel, in here that's a switch hitter. He's he's a grad student, fifth-year kid at a Southeast Missouri State, switch hitter from Bryan, Arkansas. You know, he's a kid that should have taken him out of high school. He committed fairly early and got bigger and stronger, went up there, and just all he did was hit, and he can run, he's strong. But he had some surgery on his shoulder this summer, his throwing arm. He had to get it tightened up, and got some staples in there, so he can't start swinging a bat for maybe another month and throwing for another couple of months. And, you know, I think if he comes back and he's healthy and he can throw, then he'd be the guy to beat out, because he's an offensive player that has experience. And I think he hit about 385 last year for him, had like 85 hits. And he did that like 3 years in a row there. He had 1 year with an injury, and that's why he has another year. But, you know, we've got a couple of young guys, too, that are battling for that. So, you know, we'll see how it turns out.
So I heard Zeb and Kastichak had a pretty good summer.
They both had really good summers. You know, I think sometimes sitting and watching, you get tired of that. You just go out and you want to prove that you're good and you deserve it, and they both did that. Kastichak's going to throw in the scrimmage tonight. Zeb's had a little bit of soreness in his shoulder, so we're giving him some time up this fall, get him back right. We've had him looked at. There's no problems in there as far as tears or anything, just some inflammation, and going to let it settle down. And he may pitch at the end of fall for us. We're not sure yet, but Kosty's been throwing the ball extremely well, and you know, it would be a big thing for this team if he can be one of our main guys with throwing the ball. You know, he's throwing the ball 93, 95 miles an hour, and his first outing was really good. And the key for him is throwing strikes, and he threw nothing but strikes his first outing.
Justin said his weight hadn't changed much, but that he feels stronger. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, about the same.
Body-wise?
Yeah, body actually looks better. It seems tighter to me, and you know, just growing up, starting to look a little bit older. He's already got 2 home runs this fall for us. He pulled both of them. A lot of times his power's the other way, and you know, just a guy that works hard, keeps the same attitude, doesn't act like, you know, he's better than anybody else. He's just another guy out here working hard, and I think that rubs off on the guys, knowing that here's a first-team freshman All-American, everything, and he works as hard or harder than anybody out here, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, Hunter Wilson.
Yeah.
Cops.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin. We threw him 2 innings yesterday in a scrimmage, but all he threw was fastballs, and he was 90 miles an hour almost every pitch. His location wasn't great. We didn't let him throw any change-ups or breaking balls, and that's what he has a lot of. That's really good. You know, he's got 2 good pitches, but you know, when you look at it, he's like 11 months out from surgery. So he's a guy that, you know, we're hoping that, you know, by February he's back to being Kevin Kopps.
Did Hunter Wilson move on? Or?
Yeah, Hunter Wilson is going to use his grad transfer. Everything's good between us. I think that, you know, he just looked at it. He saw that we got a transfer in. He knew that we had a couple other infielders coming back and a couple of young guys. And, you know, we talked on the phone in, I think, late July, early August somewhere. I think it was late July. And you know, he didn't get to play 2 years ago. He had the injury on his knee. Started out at, another 4-year school. Went to junior college. Came here. He just wants to play. He wants to play every day, and I don't blame him. I mean, you know, he's a guy that he brings a lot of energy, and he wants to play, and don't want to slow him down. And I couldn't tell him that he was going to play every day. And you know, he's such a good utility type guy, and I think that he feels like we see him as that, and so he's going to finish he'll end up with his degree here from the University of Arkansas at semester, and then he's weighing his options right now, and he'll wind up at a school where he feels like he's going to get in the lineup every day.
Who are you looking for in left field?
You know, I want a good defender, obviously, but I want somebody who can hit and contribute, and you know, obviously we're going to get that from the 2 other outfielders, and you know, we'll find us a good DH, and we feel like if McFarland can swing the bat, you know, good like he can, and you know, if Ezel's healthy, and you know, Martin does what we know what he can do with the bat, and then we have a battle at catcher right now, and you know, Kinley was 3 for 3 in the scrimmage yesterday, and you know, we're just trying to put a good lineup on the field. We want to be deep, you know, we want it to be 8-9 deep, and have a chance to score every inning. So obviously I want a guy who can run and catch it, but I also want a guy that can hit.
But who else playing?
Well, you know, I'm playing a transfer. He's only a sophomore. Matt Goodhart's playing out there. Got a couple other freshmen that were playing out there that, you know, one hits right, a couple of them hit left, and, you know, they're, you know, really tuning into how they do against opposite arm. You know, example, if a hitter hits left, how they swing it against right-handers, and how's the right-hander swinging it? I guess I said against the left and right, and then the lefty, how's he, you know, can he handle left-handed pitching? Do we need to platoon there? And just trying to figure that out a little bit and putting those matchups together in the scrimmages. So, you know me, I don't like to mention a lot of the freshmen yet. They haven't done anything. So I'll be able to tell you a lot more in a couple of weeks on how the freshmen are doing.
How much are you counting on Isaiah to step up for you guys, not only on the mound but as a leader for this team?
Oh, I mean, he's done both so far. I mean, his leadership has been great, work ethic. I mean, he passed up money to come back. He could be hanging out and relaxing right now after some summer, you know, some professional baseball with some money, and he came back, took a chance. He basically bet on himself. He rolled the dice and said, I'm going to make more money. I'll be right there to get my degree, because he's really intelligent. I think he will have his degree at the end of spring, and I think he's going to be an outstanding weekend starter. From what I've seen in his bullpens and his first start last week, you know, the fastball was still 93, 94, but what I'm seeing is secondary stuff was so much better, and he's really developing his changeup, and it's not something that just changes speed, it's moving, and the guys didn't have any luck with him. He threw 3 innings last week. He gave up 1 hit and struck out like 6, and we gave him a 4th inning because of his pitch count was so low, and I think he came out and he didn't give up a hit. I think he struck out another hitter or 2. So he's got his 2nd outing today. We'll see how it goes.
What about Angus Denton? He looks like
Who?
Angus Denton.
Angus is a different player. He went out and pitched on that team in California that McFarland played on, and they, you know, they won the championship, and Angus was one of their main guys out of the bullpen, and I think he had more appearances than anybody on the team. And so far, you know, this fall, the right-handers haven't hit him at all. The lefties get him a little bit. He's a submariner guy, but he's throwing harder from that arm slot. It's hard to pick up. It's got sink, got a little slider going, and he's throwing a changeup with it. And you know, if he could get lefties out, he's a guy that we'd just leave him in the game for a few innings. If not, we know he can really be hard on right-handers. He could be a guy that, you know, can pitch for us twice on the weekend. I mean, if he stays healthy, he'll make the team, and he'll be a big part of it.
Some of the guys we talked to a little bit earlier said he's a pretty fiery guy.
Yeah, he's fiery. He got some attitude, and you know, he's a guy last year. He could have helped us last year. We just felt like the year before we'd only pitched him a couple innings, and we tried to get a redshirt year back on him. You know, if I could have flipped it, I'd have redshirted him 2 years ago and pitched him some last year. But he's made a big jump, and I think now he's going to get to pitch a lot, and it's going to all be worth it for him.
Oregon State coach retired. That surprised you, or did you guys talk about that at all? Or?
No, you know, nothing surprised me anymore. Hey, it's a tough job. At least he got to go out a champion, right? So good for him. He's had a great career. I wouldn't doubt it if he coached again one day. You never know.
He's got that closet.